Okay, let's unpack this. You know that feeling when you walk into the skincare aisle, or
Yeah.
honestly, even just scrolling through skincare TikTok,
Yeah.
and you suddenly feel like you need a dual degree in organic chemistry and ancient history just to wash your
Oh,
face?
completely. It is so overwhelming.
It's a lot.
The industry moves at like a breakneck speed.
Yeah.
One day, the trend is stripping everything off your face with harsh acids, and the next, it's all about putting bacteria back on your face to save your microbiome.
Yes, it's so hard to keep up.
Mm-hmm.
And that is exactly where today's deep dive lands us. We are looking at this wild intersection where ancient herbalism, literally stuff people have been using for centuries, it just crashes right into futuristic, sci-fi level biotechnology. We're unpacking something called the ICD Dermatology First Package.
And right off the bat, package feels like a bit of a misnomer. It makes it sound like a cardboard box arriving at your door.
Right.
But this is actually a very specific high-performance product system designed for hydration and radiance.
It's a system. That's the word. It's not just a lotion you slap on and hope for the best. It's a whole regimen. And specifically, we're looking at how this system uses a very particular application method to get results. But before we get into the sticky details, or hopefully not sticky details, I want to be fully transparent about where we're pulling this intel from. We are diving into the source material provided by kbuausa.com.
Which is an important distinction to make right up front. If you go looking for this, you should know that KBUA USA isn't the Cortland Ryman headquarters site. It's a site owned by an independent Ryman planner.
Right. And in the world of high-end imported skincare, knowing who you're buying from is like essentially the first step of the routine. We'll get into the wild west of counterfeit products later because that is a whole rabbit hole. But the source material emphasizes that KBUD USA guarantees authenticity with a seal on every single product. Plus, I noticed a little detail for the savvy shoppers out there. They offer free shipping on orders over $200.
Always a good detail to keep in mind when you're building a cart.
So our mission today is to figure out two things. First, there's a phrase in the instructions that sounds like a ghost trying to scare a baby. Boo-see-boo. We need to decode that. And second, we need to analyze the biochemistry here, because the source claims a 99.7% improvement in skin radiance. That is a bold number.
It is a very specific, very aggressive statistic. And to understand how they get there, we have to understand the ritual itself.
Okay, let's start with the name. Boo-see-boo. I promise I'm not making that up. It sounds like a game of peekaboo gone wrong.
It does have a certain ring to it, but it's actually a mnemonic device for the application order. It stands for booster, serum, booster.
Ah, okay, so it's a sandwich.
Precisely. It's a skincare sandwich.
Right.
The philosophy here is about layering. You aren't just mixing things together in your hand, you're creating a sequence to maximize absorption and efficacy.
You start with the Booster EX. Right, looking at the how to use guide here, step 1 is spray Booster EX on your face. But here's the part I usually mess up. Wait a few minutes to allow for absorption. I am terrible at waiting. I just want to pile it all on and go to sleep.
And that is where most people go wrong with active ingredients. Think of it like a dry sponge versus a damp sponge.
Okay, I'm visualizing.
If you pour soap or, water on a bone-dry, hard sponge, it just sits on top or runs off the sides. It doesn't penetrate.
Right.
But if the sponge is slightly damp, it absorbs everything instantly. The booster is preparing the canvas, essentially. It's hydrating the skin barrier so it's actually receptive to what comes next.
So if I skip the wait, I'm basically wasting the expensive stuff I'm about to put on.
Exactly. You're diluting the efficacy. You have to let that first layer settle.
Okay, so we spray, we wait, we contemplate our existence for a few minutes. Then comes step 2, the Serum EX. The instructions are specific here too. Droplets on the forehead and cheeks, massage gently.
This is the C in Boo-see-boo. This is the nutrient-dense layer.
And then the final boo. Once that serum is absorbed, you spray the Booster EX a second time. Why the double dip? Why not just use more serum?
It's all about the lock-in effect. The first layer of booster hydrates and sort of opens up the skin's absorption pathways. The serum delivers the highly concentrated active ingredients, the meat of the sandwich, if you will. And that second layer of booster, it seals it all in. The source explicitly says this is for enhanced skin hydration. You're trapping the moisture and the nutrients between two layers of the carrier fluid.
That makes so much sense. It's like putting a lid on a pot to let it simmer. Now, context is key here. This isn't the whole routine, is it?
No, not at all. This is part of a bigger picture.
Okay.
Correct. The source material refers to this as the expert Ryman ritual. The Boo-see-boo method actually covers steps 5 through 7 of their regimen.
Steps 5 through 7. Wow. That implies a level of dedication that goes way beyond wash and go. So what comes before?
According to the guide, you do this morning and night, specifically after applying step 4, which is the calming balance gel.
And after the second, boo.
You finish with the Active Cream EX, and they specifically mention using a spatula to apply it.
A spatula. Fancy.
It's actually for hygiene. If you use your fingers, you're introducing bacteria into the jar every single day.
Oh, good point.
The spatula keeps the active ingredients pure.
See, that's the level of detail we're dealing with here. But
Yeah.
okay, we have the method down. Booster, serum, booster. But I want to know what we are actually putting on our faces. Because when I looked at the ingredient list, the first thing I noticed was what wasn't there.
You mean water?
Exactly. Usually you pick up a bottle of anything, shampoo, lotion, whatever, and the first ingredient is aqua, or water. It's mostly filler.
Right.
But here, the source highlights Centella asiatica leaf water.
Or as it's referred to in the source, Biang Pool.
Biang Pool. Sounds like a fountain of youth.
In a marketing sense, that is exactly what they're going for. But scientifically, Centella asiatica is a powerhouse. You might know it as tiger grass.
Tiger grass. I've heard that. Isn't the legend that tigers roll around in it when they're wounded?
That's the folklore, yes. And there is truth to it. It's known for being incredibly soothing, anti-inflammatory, and it promotes wound healing.
Wow.
And the concentrations here are significant. The booster contains 88% Centella asiatica leaf water, and the serum contains 81%.
That is huge. So the base of this product isn't dead water, it's bioactive plant water.
Exactly. You're starting with a base that is already doing work soothing and rejuvenating before you even get to the additives. It's like making your morning coffee with an energy drink instead of water. You're starting at a baseline of active.
Terrifying analogy, but I get it. Speaking of additives, let's get into the alphabet soup. There's an acronym in here that sounds very scientific. NMN.
Yes, NMN. This stands for nicotinamide mononucleotide.
I'm very glad you had to say that and not me.
It's a mouthful. To put it simply, NMN is a derivative of niacinamide. You've probably heard of niacinamide. It's like everywhere in skincare right now.
Oh yeah, it's the it girl of ingredients.
Well, NMN is interesting because it's a precursor to something called NAD+. Without getting too bogged down in cellular biology, NAD+ is a coenzyme that is essential for cellular energy and repair. Think of NAD+ as the battery power for your cells.
Okay, I'm with you. Like a little power pack.
Exactly. When we're young, our NAD+ levels are high. Our batteries are fully charged, so our cells repair themselves instantly. As we age, our NAD+ levels drop. The battery starts to drain.
So by applying NMN, we are trying to tell our skin cells to wake up and get back to work.
Essentially, yes. The source notes that NMN boasts powerful antioxidant care and improves the appearance of fine lines, wrinkles, and hyperpigmentation. It's about giving the skin the fuel it needs to repair itself rather than just covering up the damage.
That connects back to that sci-fi vibe I was getting. But they also list some proprietary complexes that sound straight out of a laboratory. Rejuviome R and Filerston.
These are fascinating because they target two very different mechanisms of aging. Rejuviome R is found in the booster. It's an enzyme specifically noted for supporting DNA repair.
DNA repair. That sounds really intense for a face mist.
It is. The idea is to reduce the daily damage from overexposure to UV rays or pollution. It's playing defense.
Okay.
It's shielding the blueprint of your cells.
So Rejuviome R is the shield. What is Filerston?
The Filerston is in the serum. This one is focused on the microbiome.
The microbiome. That's the ecosystem of bacteria living on our skin, right?
Correct. We used to think we needed to scrub all bacteria off our faces. Antibacterial soaps, astringents kill everything.
Yeah.
Now we know that a healthy balance of bacteria is crucial for looking young and keeping inflammation down. Filerston is designed to support that bacterial balance to reduce the appearance of aging. It feeds the good guys.
So we have tiger grass water, cellular energy boosters, DNA repair enzymes, and microbiome support. But then, just to keep us grounded, I look at the rest of the ingredients and it looks like a smoothie recipe.
It really does. The sheer volume of botanical extracts is impressive.
I'm seeing blackberry, raspberry, blueberry, cranberry. It's a whole fruit salad.
And don't forget the ginseng and witch hazel.
And wait for it, Spiraceus crispa extract, which turns out to be a mushroom.
A cauliflower mushroom, to be precise. And these aren't just for scent or texture. These are all rich in antioxidants. When you combine them, you're creating a broad-spectrum defense against environmental stressors.
And the goal of all this, according to the product description, is youthful, radiant skin that feels lifted and smooth.
Which brings us back to the source of all this information. We are analyzing these ingredients based on the listing from kdbeautyusa.com. And I think this is a good moment to pause and talk about why this source matters so much.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because if I search for these products online, I might find them on some random auction site for half the price. Why shouldn't I just buy the cheapest one I find?
That is the wild west of the beauty industry. Counterfeit skincare is a massive, massive problem. And it's not just that you might get a fake poost that falls apart. You are putting this on your skin.
Right, it's a safety issue.
Exactly. Counterfeit products often contain harmful fillers, bacteria, or completely different ingredients than what's on the label. Sometimes it's just watered down, but sometimes it's actively dangerous. That's why kbeauty-usa.com emphasizes the Ryman Authenticity Seal.
Right, the source material explicitly says, kbeauty-usa.com guarantees the authenticity of each product as evidenced by the Ryman Authenticity Seal on every item.
That seal is your chain of custody. It proves the product came from the manufacturer through an authorized planner to you. It hasn't been sitting in a hot shipping container for 2 years.
And just to clarify again, kbeautyusa.com is owned by an independent Ryman planner. It's not a big faceless corporation, but it attributes purchases to a specific planner, which feels a bit more personal.
And there's a financial incentive to buying from a legit source like this, too. You mentioned the shipping earlier.
Yes. Free shipping on orders over $200. And considering the pricing, the source lists the regular price at $115, but a sale price of $90 for this Boosie Boo package.
So if you're buying the Boosie Boo package,
and maybe you decide to do the full ritual we talked about, you add that calming balance gel, which was step 4, or the active cream for the end, you hit that $200 mark pretty easily.
and then you get the free shipping, and you have the peace of mind that you aren't spraying mystery chemicals on your face.
Plus, they ship to the United States and Canada, which makes these niche Korean products much more accessible. Usually you have to wait like 3 weeks for international airmail.
Accessibility is key. If it's too hard to get, people won't stick to the routine.
Okay, so we have the method, the ingredients, and the safe place to buy it. But does it work? I want to circle back to that big claim. 99.7% improvement in skin radiance.
It is a staggering number. Usually you see claims like 80% of women agreed or looks better,
Yeah.
but 99.7% is very precise.
So where does that number come from? Is it just marketing fluff?
Well, the source actually cites the study details, which adds a layer of credibility. The research was conducted by the P&K Dermatology Clinical Research Center Co., Ltd.
Okay, so a third-party lab.
Right. And here's what I found interesting. The test period was surprisingly recent in the source material. November 4, 2024 to December 5, 2024.
Oh, wow. So this is fresh data.
Very fresh. The subjects were 39 adult women aged 33 to 65.
I want to pause on that. 39 women? A skeptic might say, hey, that's a tiny group. That's not thousands of people.
And that is a fair point if you're looking at, say, a pharmaceutical drug trial. But in the world of clinical skincare testing, a cohort of 30 to 50 people is actually the industry standard for determining efficacy.
Really?
You rarely see skincare trials with thousands of participants.
So 39 is statistically significant for this kind of study.
Yes, it's enough to show a trend. And the fact that they list the specific dates in the specific institute allows for verification. It shows they aren't just pulling numbers out of thin air. They're confident enough to show their work.
And the demographic women, 33 to 65. That's basically the prime window where people start worrying about radiance and elasticity.
Exactly. They tested it on the people who would actually use it.
And they also list a bunch of safety certifications. I saw German Derma tested.
That's a rigorous standard for skin tolerance.
Yeah.
Germany has some of the strictest skincare regulations in the world,
And cruelty-free, sustainably made, and all-natural ingredients.
which is becoming non-negotiable for many consumers today. People want the high-tech DNA repair, but
Yeah.
they don't want it at the cost of animal testing or environmental damage.
It's that blend, again, futuristic results, but with a conscience.
Precisely.
So let's try to wrap our heads around the big takeaway here. If you're listening to this and your skincare routine consists of splashing water on your face and hoping for the best, this is a very different world.
It is. The takeaway for me is the intention behind the ritual. The Boosie Boo technique isn't just about using more product to make you spend more money.
It definitely felt like that at first glance, but the physics make sense.
It's about understanding the mechanics of absorption. You're hydrating, treating, and sealing. You are building a structure on your skin.
And you're doing it with a base of Centella asiatica, not dead water. That seems to be the secret sauce.
That, combined with the cutting-edge compounds like NMN and Rejuviome R, it's a system that treats the skin as a living organ that needs to be fed, repaired, and protected, rather than just a surface to be painted over.
And if you are tempted to try the sandwich method, the booster, serum booster, you know where to look. The source material points us to kbudyusa.com.
Look for that authenticity seal.
Exactly. And hey, if you're going to overhaul your routine, might as well hit that $200 threshold and get the free shipping. No one likes paying for shipping. It is the universal enemy of the online shopper.
It really is.
One thing that stuck with me is the time commitment. Wait a few minutes. In our instant gratification world, that feels like an eternity. But maybe that's the point.
I think so. It forces you to slow down. It turns a chore into a ritual.
So here's where it gets really interesting for me. We're seeing a shift in how we talk about beauty. It used to be about covering up flaws. Now we are talking about DNA repair and microbiomes.
It raises an important question for everyone listening. We spend so much time researching what we put in our bodies. Organic food, supplements, probiotics. We obsess over macros and ingredients. But how often do we apply that same level of scrutiny to what we put on our bodies?
That's so true. The skin is our biggest organ.
Exactly. If our skincare is evolving to be this biologically advanced, capable of influencing our cells and our bacteria, shouldn't we be treating our bathroom counter with the same respect as our medicine cabinet? And furthermore, if the order of application, the Boo is just as critical as the ingredients themselves, what other parts of our daily routines are we doing in the wrong order and missing out on the full benefits?
Are we trying to sprint before we stretch? Are we caffeinating before we hydrate?
Precisely. Sometimes the sequence is the secret.
That is something I'm definitely going to be thinking about tonight while I stand in front of the mirror, strictly waiting for my booster to absorb. Thank you so much for breaking this down with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for listening to another deep dive. Stay curious, stay hydrated, layers and all, and we will catch you on the next one.